Wala. I don't know. Oo na siya. Isa pa, isa pa. May gusto yata. Muffin? First exit.
Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something?
Wow.
Nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Who are you deceiving? So well, say you're almost honest. Run away from what you need to. Does it ever get old? If you dreamed of
Up in the mountains. Lamig.
Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing?
Hello, Donel. Hello.
Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
It's okay. You can leave that one there. I can give.
How many all in all?
Daming for lease pa ba?
Nobody's watching, 'cause you got all you wanted. I heard you took that nasty feeling.
Okay. Oh no!
I don't mean to have your business,
Okay.
but it's an easy out to
Ooh,
call
wow.
your innocence. It's time to tell we believe you. Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something nobody's watching. 'Cause you got all you wanted. I heard you took that nasty feeling to that friend of yours. I don't mean to air out your business, but it's an easy out to be called when you're innocent. 'Cause time will tell who we believe. Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing? Who are you deceiving so well? Say you're almost honest. Run away from what you need to. Does it ever get old? If you dreamed a little better, swim right up the river, just harder to consider.
Little. Hello.
Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing? Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
Yeah, mussels. I'll have one of those. Thank you.
It's like, saan ba yan? Saan ito? 4, 5, 6, 7. Go.
Nobody's watching, 'cause you got all you want. I heard you took that nasty feeling to that friend of yours. I don't mean to air out your business, but it's easy out
Paperboard church.
when you're innocent. 'Cause time will tell who we believe. Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing? Who are you deceiving? Play so well. Say you're almost honest. Run away from what you need to. Does it ever
Adat, tita.
So beautiful.
Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing?
Yun, pang halo-halo, tita. Bring it home.
Stay
Bring it home, tita, ha?
stay away
Tita, go, tita.
White Christmas. Nice room.
Nobody's watching, 'cause you got all you wanted. I just took that nasty feeling to that friend of yours. I don't mean to air out your business, but it's an easy out to call on your emphasis. It's time will tell what we both needed. Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing? Who are you deceiving? Play so well, say you're almost honest. Run away from what you need to. Does it ever get old? If you dreamed a little better, swim right up the river. 'Cause I do consider you lost your place forever. Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing? Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
Frozen lake. Mini lake. Please. Grabe all white everywhere. Grabe all Where's the lake?
What else kita?
Oh, but they're visiting country.
Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing?
Yeah, naturally right, then it's fine. Really fine. Yeah.
Play so well, say you're almost honest. Run away from what you need to. Dreamed a little better, swim right up the river. To consider lost your place forever. Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to
Take mo na steer ba?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
wanna be somebody. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away. Floating around in ecstasy. Something love.
Wait.
Oh, wait. You gotta wait.
Yan.
Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing? Who are you deceiving? Play so well, say you're almost honest. Run away from what you need to.
Thank you.
Bukan pakai rice.
Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing? Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
Wah, ngamik nih.
Bakit din na yun? Okay.
Okay. Swimming pool.
Baby, you've been missing. Nobody's watching. You got all you wanted. I heard you took that as a feeling. To that friend of yours. I don't mean to have your business, but it's easy out to call when you're indecisive. This time will tell what we both needed. Did you think
You might be here for skiing. Permanent residents to Kingston. It's had a massive resurgence. Yeah. From time to time, whilst cannibal, gamble with your family. We had lots of different forest types, little forest. This is New Zealand's most common forest type. But this valley is a we make it so they can. Stand should be just towering above. The biggest hazard on this road is other road users. The second biggest is avalanche. But no one's actually been killed on this road in an avalanche. It's like the Ice Age out there. In the dead of winter, like now. Poor surveyor, or poor mate, don't get run over by. I reckon this is important. On the way home, we.
Solid.
This one seat, then we'll turn around and come back.
Baby, you've been missing.
Yep.
Did you think no one would ever notice? I was scared that you had nothing to give. Don't you wanna be somebody, something instead of nothing? Away from what you need to know. Did it ever get old? If you dreamed a little better, swim right up the river, just harder to consider. Lost your place forever. Did you think no